Hi, it's Patsy and welcome back to my channel. I am on today to do a video response to Tarot Shrink, who started a hashtag a couple of days ago called hashtag mass market gems. So these are decks in your collection that are mass market, but what you would class as gems. Now I had to think about this one because most of my decks are mass market. I have a few what aren't, and I find them all really, good in their own way. So I didn't want to sit here with stacks and stacks of decks. So I've chose decks that are gems to me because they fill a place in my collection or in my practice that I find no other deck really gives me the same itch as these particular ones do. So I've got, I think it's about 13 decks here to get through, and that was narrowing them down. I think I started off with about 20, so I'm going to get through them. I won't be too long on each one, but I'll kind of show you them and the reason why I class them as a gem in my collection. So the first one I'm going to show you is my Tarot of the Hidden Realms. This deck is one of my very special decks. This deck is only a deck used for me. I don't use it to read for other people. It's one of those decks that is specifically for when I need to go deep within myself to find some answers. When I bought this deck, I wasn't sure whether it was going to be one that I'd be able to read with, but it took me by surprise that it's so intuitive, and it's like you're in this foresty world with all these fae, and you build a relationship with them. It's a very beautiful deck, but it's a very deep deck, and like I say, when I need some answers from within that I'm really not facing and I know I really should be, then this is the deck that I'll always pull out because it really speaks to me and it'll dig deep. It's like they go into your soul almost and tell you what you need to know, what you need to do. And it's become a very special deck for me. I'll never part with this deck, and this is the deck that I find does that the best for me, and it's a very healing for me and gets straight to the point, but it does it in such a lovely way that, yeah, it's one of my top 3 decks of all time, so that had to be on the list. The same thing with this next deck that I'm going to show you, and it's the Oracle. It's the Fairy Oracle. Oh, sorry, my nose is itching. By Brian Froud. Now this deck does exactly the same as Tarot of the Hidden Realms for me. It's straight to the point, it's cheeky, it's fun, but it's also quite blunt. Tells you exactly what you need to hear, and not always in the nicest of ways either, but I do always use the book with this. I don't read this intuitively or anything like that. This one has to be a card with the book and take my messages from the book and journal with what the book is telling me and what I'm also receiving from the cards themselves. But that is another one that there's no other deck like this on the market, not that I found anyway, and I just love it. I'd never part with that. So that is the Fairy Oracle. So the next one is a tarot, and I was a long time coming to this one. It took me a good couple of years to decide, yeah, it was a deck I needed to get, and it's the Deviant Moon Tarot. For some reason, when it first was become popular, it just made me skin crawl almost. I just wasn't interested. But then last year I just kept getting drawn to it, and I was looking at walkthroughs, and in the end I went and I bought it because it must have been calling me for some reason, as I always think. And my goodness, this deck is wonderful. I've got nothing like this deck. It's an all-rounder. It's not just for shadow work. I find it quite funny, actually. Some of the messages are quite cheeky and straight to the point and funny at the same time. But it's the imagery and everything with this deck. I just haven't got nothing else like it. I haven't got any more of his work. The only other thing I have is the big hard bulk, what goes with this deck. And it's a large bulk, very good bulk. But yeah, so I have nothing else of his own. And like I said, this isn't great all rounder. Reads like a dream, straight to the point, funny, quirky. And yeah, it's just one of those that I didn't think I was going to like, but now it's in my top, definitely in my top 10, maybe even my top 5 of all decks. And I pulled that for all different reasons, not just for shadow work. So that is the Deviant Moon Tarot. The next one is another tarot, and this is the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot. I love this deck when I want to work with the goddess energy. I don't particularly work with a particular goddess, though I have some that I'm really interested in, and I am considering kind of building a collection with. Baba Yaga is the main one, but there are others. But this deck, when I want to sort of contact and connect with that goddess energy, this is the one that I'll come at. There is name changes and everything in this deck, but nothing that worries me. And it's such an intuitive deck. Like it says, the Intuitive Night Goddess. It is such an intuitive deck. And even though it doesn't really name the goddesses or anything, I quite like that, because like I said, when I'm just wanting to connect to the goddess energy, this is perfect. And it's such a beautiful deck. So intuitive. I get some great readings from this, and yeah, I've got nothing else like this. So that is the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot, and that is another one on my collection. Who's that by? I don't think I can see. No, it's not good on the box, but yeah, everybody would have seen that, I would have thought. So the next one is another tarot, and this is Poppy Palin's The Everyday Enchantment. Mine is been trimmed. This deck is one on its own. It's so unique. It's such a special, beautiful deck. Very up to date. I use this a lot to connect with people who are passed over. And I've used it for other people to connect with their loved ones, and it works lovely as that. It works really, really well. They're everyday life scenes, and it just does something to that, you know, intuitive side of your brain, and it just flows really well. It's a gorgeous deck. I've got nothing else quite like this. The artwork is stunning. It reads well as a normal tarot. It's great now it's all been trimmed down because they were a big card. But yeah, I've got nothing like this in my deck collection, and like I said, it does a wonderful to use as like a mediumship cards to connect with past loved ones. So yeah, that is Poppy Palin's Everyday Enchantment, which I just love. The next one is another tarot, and this is the Anna Kay Tarot. Been out for a long time. This is the mass market version. I know there is an indie version, but this is the mass market version. I love this tarot. I think this does such a beautiful job of the different directions, the directional way that these cards work. And because I like to do box spreads, 9-card boxes and what have you, I love how the directions kind of interact with different, you know, different ways. And when I do them 9 card boxes, this deck is often the one I pull out because of that reason, because of the directionals. And it's such an easy reader. It just reads so well. And the images, I love the images. I know a lot of people are not keen on some of the figures and the faces of them, but I love it. I just love it. Mine's getting a bit battered now. The edges are getting a bit worn and battered. But yeah, that is again one of my top 10 that I love, and I would not want to be without that in my collection. So that is the Anna K Tarot, and I just love to use that as an all-round reader for other people, for myself, whatever. So the next one is an oracle, and this is the Sacred Mothers and Goddesses, and this is by Claudia Olivos. It's a very divine feminine deck, this one. It's not just goddesses, you've got other things in here, like, you know, like today, my card of the day is something about divination, I can't remember. But yeah, this deck imagery is lovely. Yeah, the sacred feminine, embrace the sacred feminine there. So you've not just got the goddesses, there is different things. But I love the artwork and I love the book. The book actually is very good when you want to do some journaling, because at the end of the bit, let's just show you, it'll be easy to show you. Like for Mother Mary, you get your piece about Mother Mary, and then it gives you a message, but then it calls on Mother, tells you when to call on her, like to help manifest goals and wishes, activities and rituals that you can do. Then you get a Mother Mary healing your inner child card spread, and then you get a card spread with 4 cards to do. But then it also gives you creating an altar and all different things connected with that particular goddess. So in that respect, it's an excellent as well. But I like it for the bits, the extra bits at the end. But I love the artwork, and I've got nothing quite like that one. I've got a few goddess decks, but yeah, that one is, to me, is a one-off. It's brilliant. So the next one is another oracle, and this is the Kali Oracle by Alana Fairchild. This one is such a beautiful healing deck. There's the backs are gorgeous. I use this a lot. It's a ferocious heat, but it's healing. It's such a beautiful, the write-up, and I mean the images are gorgeous. I mean, look at that. But the write-up, what she does is so hard-hitting, so healing. I just love it. I journal on the messages because they kind of quite a deep meaning to the write-up, what it gives you. But yeah, the messages hit every time, and you really do need to kind of sit with that card for a while, and then kind of get it all out onto a journal. But yeah, this is quite well known, I think, within the community. But it's a powerful healing deck, and it hits you just where you need it. It gives you strength. It kind of boisters you up a little bit. It's just hard to describe this one, but it's lovely. So that is the Kali Oracle by Alana Fairchild, and that is one that I would never part with. It's one of my favourite oracles, and I use that a lot. The next one is another tarot, and this one is Tarot of the Vampires by Ian Daniels. This deck, I'm not into vampires, and vampires has never been one of my thing. In fact, Dracula used to terrify me as a child, and the old Dracula films used to scare the hell out of me. This deck is gorgeous. It's very beautiful. It's very gothic-y. It's very dark. I love the backs though with those rose, beautiful, but beautiful, beautiful cards. Now when I use this, I always use the book, and for me it's the book that I mainly bought this deck for, even though I do like the imagery. Like I said, vampires really aren't my thing, but that book is brilliant. So when I do 3 card spread or something with this, or just sometimes just pull 1 card, then I will always go to the book. Then I will always sit down and journal what the message I got was, because these cards go deep, the book goes deep, and there's so much information that you need to put it down, because you know you just couldn't remember it all. But yeah, so I have got nothing like this as a tarot, and that book, like I said, it's wonderful. So yeah, so that is one that will be staying in my collection, and I really enjoy working with, and I think it's a gem. Nearly there, 4 more to go. The next one is a tarot again. This is the Next World Tarot. I love this. I've got it in the small size. I haven't got the bigger one. I love this one. I love the backs. Again, this is very modern. This actually reads like a dream for me. It just reads so well. There's everything about this deck I love. The size of it, the imagery, the feel of the cardstock, the little book's even quite cute with it, you know. But yeah, this just a all-rounder. It's brilliant, and I've got nothing quite like this one. And often I can use this one as a clarifier, because I trust what it tells me. It's never wrong for me. It's always on point. It always delivers what I need to hear, and it always has meaning in its messages. And yeah, it's just a special deck. I love that. So that is the Next World Tarot by Christy C. Road. So the next one is, well, they class it as a tarot, the Dreams of Gaia Tarot, but I class this as an oracle. I've got the larger size, but I'm just going to show you the smallest pocket size, because that was easy for me to get out. This deck I use with the book with the bigger deck, because that book is brilliant. This to me is a very healing deck. There's just something about this, that book, when you pull your cards, a bit like the Tarot of the Vampires, and you read what it says, it just goes so deep. But again, you need to sit and journal with it, you need to sit with the cards, but it's a beautiful deck. And I like these little sizes because they're so handy to kind of work with. I can sit in bed and pull this card size, and it's not gonna make, you know, I can put it on the side of the bed, but the side of me and whatever, and it's easy. It's not like having cards everywhere. So I like this little size, but I do always take the big book out of the other one, because it's the book that's everything with this. It is a tarot, but to me I use it more as an oracle. So that is the Dreams of Gaia. I think that's a beautiful deck. It's a beautiful healing deck for me, and there's nothing quite like that, and nothing that I would be able to replace that with the big book. Nearly there, nearly there. Magic of You Oracle. On the back, it kind of tells you everything about this deck. The Magic of You Oracle is what you turn to when you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you must crawl through and light it yourself. And this is what this deck is. This deck is wonderful. That's the backs. I use this one a lot. It's glossy, so kind of try and again, the write-up in the book is excellent. They're great to journal with. They're to the point. They're healing. They help you, like it says, claw your way through that dark space that we often find ourselves in, or many of us often find ourselves in. One I reach to, I love this one I reach for quite often. I love the imagery. I love the book. It's healing. It's helpful. And there's nothing quite like it in my collection. and it's one I'll go back to time and time again. So that is The Magic of You Oracle by Fiona Horn, and I love that deck. It's very healing and it's helped me through some dodgy times. So the last one is a new one to me, but I'm absolutely loving, and it's the Magical Botanical Oracle, Maxine Miller and Christopher Penczak. I've seen this deck for so long, and I eventually got it, and I'm so glad I did. You don't get many cards. It's quite a small deck. Let me see how many cards you get in this. You get some great spreads in here. Let's have a look how many. Loads of spreads actually, and 33 is that? Yeah, 33 cards, which seems quite, you know, when you get 40 something, it seems 44 seems to be the normal one, and even then sometimes they can feel a bit small, but for some reason this deck doesn't. 33 cards in it. That's the backs. 33 cards in it, but you've got everything you need. The imagery is gorgeous. The book is everything again, and again I'll pull a card, a daily card with this one, and then I'll read the book. It's all the different herbs and plants that, you know, for your witches, and it's the healing messages from it, how you can use these herbs, and it's just lovely. I just love this deck. Like I said, I'm gradually getting to know it, but I've got nothing like it is in my collection. And the book, like I said, is everything you get. We'll go to Willow. It tells you the Latin name, the planets associated, and the element. Then you get the magical meaning, the plant spirit medicine, the divination meaning, and the reverse divination meaning. And the cards that I've pulled so far have been so on point and so good. That, yeah, it's lovely. And on the back of the book it says, the Magical Botanical Oracle is born from a deep love of the green world as seen through the eyes of a witch. What you have with you is a system bringing together some of the most unusual, interesting and magical plants found in the witch's world. So that is, it talks of its magical lore and medicine surrounding each card. So like I said, I'm getting to know this gradually, day by day. I'm just pulling one, but it's lovely. Nothing like it, and I'm really enjoying it. So that is my mass market gems. Like I said, I have lots of mass market decks, and there's others that I love but I'm not shown, but these ones are all kind of have special places in my collection for the reason of how I use them, and nothing else quite fits what they do and how they work with me. So it'll be interesting to see if anybody else does this tag. I do keep looking out, but I haven't seen any more yet, but there may be more coming up, I don't know. But yeah, that is my list of mass market gems, and thank you for watching. It's been quite a long one for me. Thanks, bye for now.